Hi, friend. I'm your host, Markell, and this is Our Stressless Home, a space where we learn by study and by faith how to build homes that feel calm, centered, and sacred. Together, we'll talk about motherhood, growth, and grace, and how to create a house that feels peaceful and a little more like heaven. Today, we are going to be talking about the word stressless and what that actually means, and what the whole goal is behind our stressless home and how we can make a stressless home. But before we get into that, I wanted to dive a little bit into stress and what stress actually means before we figure out what stressless means. Did you guys know that studies showed nearly 75% of women report feeling stressed most of the time? And oftentimes, this is due to the mental load of managing a home, work, and family. It's our brains going in a million different directions, keeping track of everybody's schedules, everybody's carpools, everybody's everything. And that is a staggering number. And it hits close to home for many of us. I remember feeling this way when I was a brand new mom. I now have 3 kids. My oldest is 8 years old. And I remember not long after she was born, just feeling complete overwhelm. I remember wondering how moms did all of it. How did they have a job? How did they serve people, juggle tasks, clean, work, manage schedules, cook meals, clean a house? I remember thinking, if this is what the rest of my life is going to look like, I'm going to hate it. And I need to figure out how to find some skills. And my first thought, or the thing that I went to first, was if I could figure out how to make everything in my home efficient, everything running efficiently, and check everything off my to-do list, then I could truly relax. I thought that I could get almost like a well-oiled machine and that I could just let it run and walk away. But here's the spoiler alert. My to-do list never stopped. So I never stopped and I burned out, and I've been figuring out how to not burn out ever since. The truth that I've discovered is that a stressless home has nothing to do with perfection or peak efficiency. It's about presence. It's about choosing this moment, letting go of the next thing you feel like you have to get done, and inviting peace and grace into the ordinary details of your day. I want us to pause for just a second and self-reflect. When you feel stressed out, how does that make you show up in your home? Do you get quiet? Do you withdraw? Do you get angry? Do you yell? Do you bark commands? There are so many different ways that we might react to feeling overwhelmed or feeling stressed when it comes to our home, our schedules, and everything that we have to manage. Feeling overwhelmed doesn't just affect your mood, but it spills over into your relationships, your focus, and even your health. When our homes are chaotic, it's easy to feel like we're drowning in never-ending tasks. But my friends, here is the good news. Stressless does not mean spotless. It doesn't mean that schedules always go perfectly, that laundry is always done, and that everyone behaves all of the time. A stressless home is one where your heart is centered in the Lord, where your focus is on this moment, and where you intentionally weave in steady faith and connection. By learning to stop, reflect, and act intentionally, whether that's physically, emotionally, or spiritually, we create an environment where joy, rest, and growth can flourish. This is definitely something that I am still working on and have not perfected by any means. I'm still trying to figure out how to invite rest into my life and how to invite more joy into my life. So don't feel like you're the only one or like you're alone. This is hard for the majority of women that I speak to on a daily basis. Okay. Item number 1, understanding stress and stressless. The American Institute of Stress defines stress as the condition or feeling experienced when a person perceives that demands exceed their available personal and social resources. When we constantly chase that next task, the next obligation, or the next milestone, we live in a perpetual state of stress. Even when everything seems fine on the surface, it feels like things are kind of running smoothly when you're never able to be grounded and present in one particular moment that you're in. That is a perpetual state of stress. One of my favorite definitions that I ever heard of stress is that it is a continual focus on the next moment. This really had an impact on me because I started to realize that I constantly felt stressed in my life or never felt like I was doing enough because I could never really figure out how to be present in one moment. It was incredibly uncomfortable for me and I could not turn my brain off. It was really, really hard. I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but this might be more common than you think. Research shows that clutter and household disagreements are major sources of tension in relationships. A lot of the studies that I've looked over suggest that 40% of couples fight about clutter and up to 80% argue about housework and responsibilities. This is a major topic of discussion and argument and disagreement in the majority of households. Then, when you try to mix in kids and you have this whole different set of dynamics that you're trying to get everybody involved, it can be very hard to manage and it's different for everyone. So, our stress isn't just internal, it truly does radiate outward and it touches everyone around us, whether that's disagreements with our spouse or disagreements with our children. We have to find a way to be able to maintain connection, but also be able to live in our homes and feel comfortable and peaceful and feel like we can rest there. So, don't worry. Please, please don't worry. I'm not here to tell you that stress is ruining your life. It is actually a fantastic indicator of the area of your life that is needing a little extra attention right now. It's like those subtle alarms that are telling you, hey, we've got a problem here. These episodes are never meant to make you feel less than or like you're messing everything up and ruining everyone's lives in your house, that your lack of organization or the clutter in your home is destroying your relationships. Please do not take that this way. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself. I am just here to offer you a different perspective and a different way of thinking. Take anything that is helpful from these episodes and please leave the rest behind. Only internalize things that make you feel like you want to be better, but without the pressure of feeling like you have to be better. So if you are ready to step into that next phase where you would like to start to create a stressless home, one without so much bickering and fighting, one where everybody is more involved, and one where you can truly connect with each other, let's talk about how to do that. Stressless is about cultivating awareness and intention. It's pausing before reacting, noticing our surroundings, and aligning our actions with what truly matters. It's the art of creating a home that supports peace and growth, not just efficiency. One of the lines that I loved in a book that I actually read about homeschooling talked about how homeschooling necessarily is not efficient because relationships are not efficient. And that had such a huge impact on me, where in my brain, where I want to think of the most efficient and the fastest ways to get things done, that often isn't the way to create connection. And because our relationships are not efficient, our relationships can be messy and they go through different cycles and through different seasons. And so there is no such thing as efficient connection. And I think sometimes if you tend to have a brain kind of like mine, that's what I want, is I want efficiency. And so that is why we are continually focusing on the next moment, because I want to know what's coming up and I want to make it more efficient. So creating a stressless home is truly about a continual focus on this moment, not the next one. No lists, no to-dos, just clarity about what matters in this moment and doing it. In the beginning of my marriage, my husband, Matt, is a true cuddler. He loves, at the end of the night, cuddling, watching shows together, laughing together. We love watching The Office or something that makes us giggle to kind of unwind for the day. In the beginning of our marriage, he would really want to watch shows together, and he was really quick to fall asleep. And I remember thinking, I hope that he falls asleep quickly so that I can try to quietly roll off this couch and go and finish dishes or go and finish the laundry, because it felt like having that resting time or that bonding time together was taking away from my time to do my house chores. He would always wake up when I would try to roll off the couch and he would say, where are you going? And I would say, my brain has a huge to-do list in my head and I've got to get stuff done if I'm going to feel better. And so this is something that I have really struggled with, is learning how to be in a particular moment to rest and to enjoy making those connections. Because I know that I'm not the only one who feels this way, let's talk about some key points and solutions. And I want to go over 4 tips with you today that could maybe help you take some of those next steps towards a stressless home. So tip number 1 is to become aware. The next time you're feeling frantic or overwhelmed, I want you to just stop for a moment and ask this question: what circumstances led me here? Is there anything within my control that I could address? Focus only on the things that are within your influence, not what others should have done or could have done differently to make this circumstance different. I want you to think specifically of what you could have done. Tip number 2 is to practice closing loops. Procrastination often fuels mental and physical clutter. Start making decisions on tasks that you've been delaying. Maybe that's emails or household chores or unread messages in either your social media or your text messages. Start to do those little things where you're going to close those loops and you don't have a constant reminder of things that you haven't completed yet. Even small, consistent action reduces overwhelm and opens space for connection. Take the time to close those loops, especially the ones that won't take long. Tip number 3 is to reduce your physical load. Simplify your home and your responsibilities. If you have less things in your home, you spend less time managing it. One of the statistics that I read said that the average American home has over 300,000 items in it. That's average. Your house may have a little bit less, your house may have more, but regardless, if you have 300,000 things on your brain that you're trying to keep track of, if they need to be repaired, when was the last time you used it, when this child picked it up and put it down somewhere else, there is a bajillion things, well, at least probably 300,000 things in your brain that you are trying to keep track of. So the fewer items that you have in your home, you have fewer obligations and you can truly be more intentional. You can break tasks into quick 15-minute increments, or you can tackle one small area at a time. However your brain can help you make progress is the best way for you. Sometimes for me, that's telling myself I'm going to set a 15-minute timer. And other times it's I'm going to finish this drawer. It may take me 5 minutes. It may take me 25 minutes, but either way, I'm not walking away from this spot until this drawer is done. Tip 4, find a stressless moment today. Bring a little extra awareness to your intention behind what you're doing. When you have an opportunity to choose a relationship over a task, take it. When your little one comes and asks for a snuggle while you're doing dishes, take it. When they want to jump on the tramp, take it. Your husband wants to snuggle when laundry isn't folded, take it. When they want to go for a scooter ride, take it. Play a game, wrestle, play tag before bedtime. Find reasons to really belly laugh together. Practice seizing a stressless moment, a present moment, and let your mind be at ease that you're doing something productive because you're connecting. With that said, let's take a moment to do a guided reflection. I want you to take a deep breath. Pause for a moment and close your eyes if you'd like. Ask yourself this question. What's one area in my home or day that feels heavy or chaotic right now? What's one small intentional step I could take today to lighten that load? How can I invite God, prayer, and presence into this space or task? If you are closing your eyes, you can open them. Take a moment to write down your thoughts. Maybe it's in your phone, on a quick piece of paper. Maybe it's sending a text to your husband and saying, you can disregard this, but I need this note for later. After you write down your thoughts, come up with a small action that you can do and take that small action. Even if it's just tidying one drawer, clearing off your dresser, making your bed today, starting a conversation, or sitting quietly for 5 minutes. That moment is stressless, and that moment is yours. Teaching you to be stressless doesn't mean teaching you to be spotless. Your home doesn't need to be mess-free and perfect. It means creating a home and a life where presence, connection, and faith come first. Begin with awareness, act intentionally, and trust that peace grows in the small, repeated steps. I am so glad that you joined me today. Please remember that a stressless home isn't about perfection, but it's about presence. As we learn by study and by faith and build our homes into houses of prayer, learning, and order, peace begins to take root. Until next time, my friend, stressless starts with this moment.